the Pokemon Arceus or Arceus
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Arceus. Does anyone know how to pronounce that fucking shit?
Did you get fucked up by Snorlax?
No, I got fucked up by I forget what it was. It was like a Starliat, or it was like a level 2 Pidgey alternate.
Okay.
Because there's just like I was like, oh, I'm level 9, and then I walked out and there was like it's just a level 17 Pokemon walking a boot, kicking my ass. So, uh, the new Pokemon is really, really bizarre. It's how do I put this? Like legitimately, how do I put this? Have you touched it at all?
Arc System Works? No. But
No, yeah.
that's the I as someone who has been looking to see what the who has been wanting to see what Pokemon would look like when they finally decided to like make it a, update it a bit. I'm going to, but didn't get a chance yet.
So the game has moved forward the formula probably the most of almost any Pokemon game ever.
So it seems.
Um, and the number one part of that turns out after all this time was speed. Uh, Being able to catch Pokemon pseudo instantly without having to get into fights.
Hmm.
Being able to fight Pokemon while moving past the Pokemon. Right? Like throw out your Pokemon and they start a fight, and as they are fighting and you are selecting moves, you are just like running past the fight
Oh,
because you don't care.
and then disengaging afterwards. Okay.
Um, like the speed is so huge. Also, having your character be like a human being that exists in the world state of a Pokemon battle and has to deal with the fact that Hyper Beam is like a Kamehameha and that you might have to dodge out of the way
Mm-hmm.
is great. Is fucking great. All of that stuff is good. The story is still like unbelievably plotting and annoying to actually have to deal with at all. Like, it's not that it's for children, it's that it's for dumb children.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
you'll go talk to a guy and he'll be like, I'm the diamond guy and I think this, and then the professor will be like, let's go have some food. Oh, so you talked to that diamond guy and he said and it's like this, it's literally the same conversation 3 times in a row with nothing in between.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want to die. Hey, baby.
How's all that stuff with the like staring out at a Breath of the Wild shot, but the land is flat
Okay,
and
so
barren?
I'm trying to do the good. The good part is that it's a fun Pokemon game and it's a genuine improvement to all the stuff that people like about Pokemon.
Good.
Um, the stuff that's mid about it is the stuff that's always been mid about it.
But the promise
Um,
of looking up has been fulfilled.
the kind of,
Okay.
kind of. Um, it is without a doubt the ugliest Nintendo game I think I have ever seen in my life.
Oh boy.
And by that I mean published by Nintendo. And
Relative to the generation it's in.
relative to its era. So I remember thinking that and saying it when I saw it, like when I was playing it. And I'm like, that can't possibly be true. You know when you say something hyperbolic and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
no, it can't. And then I'm like,
What kind of qualifiers can you put on this?
like published by Nintendo. Like I can't I like for like first party, or I guess this would be second party Nintendo game, like I cannot think of like a single thing that is like even close to how fucking ugly it is. I'm seeing people say like, man, it looks like a fucking GameCube game. It fucking wishes it looked like a GameCube game. Fucking Wind Waker came out on the GameCube.
Okay.
Like so, it looks like a fucking 3DS game that is being blown up to run on the Switch. Actually, no, because I've seen Sun and Moon emulated, and they look way better.
Because of course there's like there's the quality of the assets, you know, respective to, again, whatever generation, and then there's like how you place them, how you light them, what's happening as a whole when it comes to like an overworld. And I mean, I don't know how many other times Nintendo's done this, like besides that, like, again, Breath of the Wild shot, but you know, Mario Odyssey looked like look, there's big levels in that were like, oh yeah, that's a Mario game. It's not, you know, out of place with what would be expected for what the game is trying to do with its art style. Like what in particular? Is it like those forest shots? Is it the...
So okay, so all right. Okay, what's the easiest way to compare this? Give me a second. So the number one thing that stands out is that it doesn't look finished at all. And by that, it looks like it doesn't have like a post-process pass on it at all. And the lighting looks like it's the fucking default baked-in lighting from the not Unreal Engine that you would use on the 360 before you put it up on the Xbox Live Marketplace. I'm trying to find. Quiet Shy had just the absolute. There it is. Here we go. Here, you can just look. You just look at this. Here are some screenshots from Pokemon Arceus that compare it and Breath of the Wild and Oblivion. And like, it has that like,
okay.
Like it has no lighting, I guess is what I mean.
In some cases, it looks to be completely and utterly absent. Yes.
Like a good example of the trees is like the shading on the trees is like baked in. So no matter how far away you are from the trees, they're still going to have all the shadows in the same spots, like on the underside of the branches at like maximum distances. And God damn it. And the other thing is that like the draw distance for the land is pretty far, but the draw distance for the trees and any aspects is like maybe 60 feet. So like there's always half phased in trees on the horizon, like always. Like the screenshot for the top one where you can see a lot of the water, like it looks like somebody took oh god, what was fucking Terran Mill from 2004's original World of Warcraft and just desaturated all the colors and removed all the effects. Because that tiny, you know, the tiny water texture that makes it look like a
exactly fucking... Yeah, this is Xbox Live Indie Water. Like this is this is absolute like a Xenoclash, you know, shit where they're just like, look, the 3D does what it does, but ignore that. We got some gameplay things for you to check out.
Like it is a very fun game, and every time I'm playing it, I can't stop like whoever I'm talking to, either it be Paige or somebody on Discord or somebody you know, DMs later. Like it is ferociously hideous. it's unbelievably ugly.
And fights are always taking place in that world, so there's no like
Yeah.
transition into like a
Yeah, no,
prettier
the
environment, right?
lack of battle transition actually, it's like, wow, that's a huge step up. And it runs better than Sword and Shield. So that's cool. But like it like this needed like a year or more. And like this is a handheld developer that just like if you to people who were not like alive or were not like even in their teens and don't understand what people talk about when we say that like during the 360 and the PS3 era, a lot of Japanese developers had difficulty transitioning to the HD era.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just look at it, just look at Pokemon, because it's that whole fucking process 15 years later.
Well, what I'm surprised by is that like when for years it's been the discussion like, okay, when are you gonna like update Pokemon? And
You asleep now? Are you serious, buddy?
And now this is happening. It's surprising because I guess I would have expected that they would have been like, let's work with somebody who's done this and who's used to making these kinds of games, and then like we can collaborate to ensure that it does everything we want it to do while feeling good as an open world large game. But here, this is Game Freak doing it themselves, and this is the first time they've ever attempted anything like this, if I remember correctly. I don't know what previous games they would have been.
Well, Sword and Shield was the camera was behind your head, like you could look up and Sword and Shield.
But it still more or less was like the same thing that like is similar,
the Pokemon
more similar to X and Y, right?
Yeah, the Pokemon that were wandering around on the field would like instigate like classic style random battles. So they were just like, the fight points, or I don't know what to call it. You don't leave, aside from actually physically leaving the open world, you are consistently in it and interacting with it, and that's cool. But it's just like it might be, oh god, it might be like the first game in like a decade. I can't even think of the last game I felt this way, where I'm playing it and I'm not like, oh, the performance, and that's like detracting from the experience, because performance is like tangible, right? I'm just like actually going like, wow, I'm having fun, but it's so ugly though.
All they had to do was just hire that man and just drop an Unreal Engine forest and then not think twice about it.
Like, the Switch is a little underpowered, yeah, sure, but Breath of the Wild shows you can get some shit out of it. And it's this fucking tough situation where like Breath of the Wild is both the fairest and most unfair comparison possible simultaneously, where Breath of the Wild looks incredible even now, but it had 5 years of development time. But that was on a different console, and it was a launch title. So like I don't know like where that
what do you mean
falls.
by a different console?
It's a Wii U game.
Oh, when it was in development, and then
Breath of the Wild did most of its development as a Wii U game, and then was ported to the Switch.
Yeah, okay.
As a launch title. Right? So like I don't fucking know.
I mean, ultimately, I just think the approach is simple. It's like if you're tackling, like if you've had years of like Pokemon mechanics and Pokemon gameplay under your belt, then that's not what you're too worried about. The open world aspect of it, and this is just based on what you're saying and based on observation, because again, I haven't touched it yet myself to see, but like with that aspect of the open world and how that looks, it makes me think like, yeah, there's tons of companies, there's tons of other studios that have a bit of experience with this thing, and talking to one of them possibly for help on such a large undertaking wouldn't be the worst idea. Admittedly, you then have to, like, you know, hire them and get involved, and you don't get all the money to
And
yourself.
spend money.
So exactly, it becomes a question of like, do you want to cut into your profits there? And if Nintendo was able to spend those 5 years to figure out how to make a large game like that and actually nail it, then why can't we do the same, but in less time?
Way less time.
Yeah. Well,
like how much time do they get on iteration on a series of projects that can only take 18 months to come out?
Or like the same almost like, or like the same time frame between regular Pokemon intervals, except now do this huge world revision, you know?
Yeah. Now, of course, the obvious refrain is that Pokemon is the most profitable thing to ever exist, and that's true. But the games aren't. The merch is. It's all in the merchandising. The games are just part of the TV and the fucking cards and all the other fucking shit.
Oh, hold on. Did Monolith Soft help them with this?
If they did.
Is this true?
I know Monolith Soft made Xenoblade Chronicles on the Switch, which or HD or whatever, and that looked way better than this. Okay, so if Monolith Soft helped them on this, then that means that Monolith helped with Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Hold on a second. I literally just found an article that says fan hypothesis Monolith Soft was helping work on Pokemon Arceus.
No, that's a fantasy.
Fan hypothesis, fan theory, and the article is actually talking about debunking it. So, let's just assume that that's bullshit until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I'm finding like rumors from a guy.
Okay. Well, never mind. Fuck that.
Cause like I think the last thing anyone would want who likes Pokemon is the idea that Monolith Soft helped make Arceus, because that would mean that the only reason the game can boot at all is because of Monolith developers. Like that's the like, wow, you should have seen this fucking shit before Jimmy Monolith got a hold of it.
But if there was a company to pick that Nintendo's familiar with already that have made a large world, right? That would be another one.
That being said, like Xenoblade like 1 looks like it's like, I'm telling you, it is doing all of the same shit Arceus, whatever Pokemon
Arceus
is. Like it functionally acts in the same manner with the open spaces and the way combat works. And it looks multiple generations past this.
So how's active combat?
Way. How's active combat? It's not. I wouldn't say it's like active. It is still turn-based. But it's just way faster. And turns out that's like a lot of what the formula needed was just that. Is just make it go big faster.
Okay. And you can get hit too, and you have to get out of the way.
And when you toss out like a Pokemon and there are like multiple wild Pokemon around, you have to just fight wild Pokemon.
Okay.
You have to fight all of them at once.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Sounds pretty much like what it needed to be. Shame about the looks, but yeah. All right. I'm gonna take a look for sure.
It's good. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's fucking absolutely hideous. Just, God damn it.
How much time you put in?
8 hours, let's say.
Okay.
It does kind of work more like, God, is it Final Fantasy X, where you could get, if you went fast, you could take more than one turn?
Okay. But like the travel from one village to another, like how large is the world scale?
It's pretty big. It is like each of the little zones that exist are like an MMO style zone,
Oh, really?
like
Okay.
like a couple kilometers wide, and there's at least a few.
Okay.
Like
So
it's pretty large.
interesting. Mm.
And then you got, shit like, Mega Snorlax walking around ready to murder you, who is
Hmm.
50 levels higher than you.
Well, on the plus side, the visuals will improve in short time once the modders get a crack at it.
What are you talking about? People were emulating it before it came out.
Oh my god. Oh my I didn't even hear about that.
Oh no,
Oh, Jesus.
there's a really weird thing that is starting to happen with Nintendo games on the Switch, where
Like Metroid?
like Metroid, where
Yeah.
the day before the games come out,
Yeah.
people who are running it on emulators are running it at like 4K 60 with like texture shit, and it's like, this is a weird fucking situation.
Yeah.
This is bizarre.
It's on like on the day of, it's especially bad. And then you see and then there's like stuff where, yeah, I saw shout outs Hitchhiker was just like, yeah, so if you wanted to fucking be in Devil Trigger the whole time, here you go. Like
Yeah.
just cracking that shit open right away. But whereas Metroid is a game that was, ultimately fine in terms of like how that looked.
Metroid looks good and performs excellently.
Yeah, in a game like this where it is lacking, I imagine the desire for fans to step in and start fucking with the lighting, fucking with the textures, doing whatever they can.
I'll tell you what though, unlike
Is
Metroid,
high.
this game, when you kick it up to 4K 60, you're like, yeah, resolution and frame rate were ironically enough not this game's problems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like,
a screenshot can capture the issue.
Congrats, you've now made it look like the hottest PC game of 2003, right next to Dungeon Siege.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for the refresh to the formula, that's still something I'm gonna cop it just to find out.
I look at it and I see not its own success. I see the next game that is this, that is the one where they didn't improve any of the systems at all. They just spent more time making it run and look okay. Oh my god, I just saw somebody say that it looks like Monster Hunter 1, and they're right.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it actually straight up looks like Monster Hunter 1. That's cringe.
Is there any PvP aspect to it?
Nope, nothing.
Okay.
So that's the other weird thing. The other weird thing is, depending on your region, I don't know what the fuck decision this was. Your rival has a Pikachu, right? Dawn from the hat has a Pikachu.
Dude, I'm looking at some screenshots of Monster Hunter 1, and some of them look better.
Well, it's not open world, really.
I'm like, not even. I was expecting some old bullshit, and like, no, some of these are. Fucking hell. Okay, anyway.
Pikachu looks at you after your little fight with Pikachu and says, "Bigger." He doesn't say Pika P or anything like that.
Okay.
In English, he just says "bigger" every time, and it's like, are you even the real Pokemon? Why are you like this?
That's weird.
Also, you know how this is the most minor of complaint, but I have to bring it up because they pointed out it's an isekai, first of all, like straight up, it's an isekai. The Pokemon God steals you from your room when you're on your smartphone. and bans you to Pokemon Hell for playing gotcha games on your phone or some shit. And
Yeah, why feed the internet with a Pikachu that says Bigga? Why feed it?
I don't
Anyway,
know, dude.
go.
It threw me. Let me just tell you, it threw me good. But you get down there, and you're like, a professor shows up and is like, "Do you know where you are?" And you go, "No." "Do you know where you are going to sleep?" And your character's like, "No." "Am I homeless?" Right? And so on and so forth. And so you're like, okay, we're setting up that you're, a fucking isekai protagonist in this wild world. And then the professor goes, "Do you know anything about Pokemon?" And you have two options. You can go, "Nah," or you can go, "Yeah, of course I do." Like he's an idiot. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I go, "Yeah, of course I do." And then he decides to explain what Pokemon are to me for 15 minutes anyway. And I'm like, I just told you you're a moron for even asking me the question. Why are you doubling down? Is it because you didn't want to write 2 tutorial prompts where I can just start playing it? I streamed it for about 5-ish hours, dude. It's like 90 minutes before you're actually, doing the thing.
Well, it might be Mom's first Pokemon game, and yeah, she's heard
That's
of Pokemon.
so normally I wouldn't bring it up because it could be mom or the child's or whatever first Pokemon game, except they straight up ask you,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, do you know what the deal with Pokemans is?" And you have the option of saying, "Yeah, dumbass, I do." Also, the game has an in-game type chart, and it is straight up the shittiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's embarrassing. The only way to view the type chart is to go into the tutorial, and in the the hunter's notes equivalent
Mm-hmm.
encyclopedia thing, and you scroll down to types, and in the types thing it has the explanation for what types are and a screenshot of the type chart, which is 1/3 of the total screen. And like nothing, like it's just the symbols, like none of them are
Yes.
labeled.
No legend.
Like, and I'm like, and
Yes.
it's like, yeah, you can't use it. It's not usable.
Hell yeah. Fuck you. No
Um,
booklets. Because that's what, like, back in the day, you had a little fucking booklet with the cool survival guide texture on it. And you'd find that page, and you'd keep that open on your lap as you fucking played. Absolutely. Awesome.
um, and last but not least, it has the absolute stupidest change to Pokemon of all time. Hey, Wooly, what happens when you throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon?
It hits it, and then it goes inside, and then
How?
uh, it floats and opens up, and then the Pokemon converts into energy and goes into the middle.
Yeah, so the ball converts the Pokemon into energy and then it lives in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So did you know that all Pokemon can become like 1/100th of their size? They all have the natural magical ability to shrink to tiny, tiny versions of themselves. And when you hit them with the Pokeball, they decide to get really small and then get in the ball and then maybe decide to be trapped.
No, wait, no, wait, hold on. Didn't they? Wasn't it always a thing where you, like, no, but that size changing energy thing was always kind of what a fucking Pokeball was, wasn't it? Like, isn't that?
No. Now I know what you're thinking. What you're thinking of
They
is
hand wave it, but
when they tell you that Pokeballs shrink Pokemon.
yeah,
But
because and then the
no,
ball itself gets smaller when it goes on your belt.
no, it's the Pokemon decides to get in the ball.
I don't know about this.
Uh,
I've been told otherwise for years.
it's like, and that's why you're transferring your Pokemon on your PC, right? Because they're like energy, like when they're in the ball,
Data.
right? No, they just when they get hit by the ball, they go and turn small. Um, and it's because the game takes place in the past, and so the balls can't be magic, like they can't be technological. They have to
Oh,
be.
there's no computers in this setting?
No, it's just it's dude, it's I think the ball's made out of wood.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's
I
it's like
I'm just gonna, you know, Pokeballs never made too much sense, and you just don't think too hard about them, so we'll just leave it alone. I'm fine to just leave that alone.
they really should have just
A
left it
Pokeball,
alone.
Pokeball does what a Pokeball does, and you know what it
Like
does.
it's
Don't.
it's like
That's fine.
by attempting to fix it and retcon it, it just becomes like outrageously stupid. It's just like infuriating that a wild Pokemon that wants to kill you just sees the Pokeball and goes, "Oh yeah, dude, it looks comfy in there. I'm gonna get in." And then once they're in, just starts screaming and fighting to get out with so much strength that like the ball is shooting up 10 feet in the air.
I mean, you do transfer and pull Pokemon out of a PC, so they do
Yeah,
become data,
because they're yeah.
but they're also like willingly, like there was something about, I don't remember, but there was something about, like, you know, they do willingly go inside the ball and
And
something.
now
All right.
everyone in his brain is like, wait, how does a Pokemon get hit by anything? If they can shrink instantaneously on command to 1/1000th of their size. They're basically an entire race of monster Ant-Mans. How could they possibly ever get hit by like a punch
In the
or
manga,
like a
you can see them inside of the ball in just a mini collectible shape.
yeah.
So they're not just sitting data inside of the ball.
So like I don't have a problem with like magical thinking or like silly like contrivances. I do have a problem with stuff that is obviously magical thinking or a silly contrivance and then they try and sell it. Right? So like if there was there's a good example that Mike Stacklasa brings up on Red Letter Media when he's talking about Star Wars and Star Trek, right? On Star Trek, the warp engine is a complicated and well-defined piece of machinery that there are like literally 40 or 50 or 60 Star Trek episodes devoted to talking about how the warp engine works and all sorts of stupid shit you can do with the warp engine, right? So everybody knows how the warp engine works, and okay, fine. In Star Wars, the warp engine is called the hyperdrive, and the reason why the hyperdrive works is that it goes really fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's totally fine. There's no problem with that. Right up until somebody in a Star Wars thing starts explaining why they can't do something because the hyperdrive needs the bath mode dad from the thing and can't do this with that
Tachyons.
and that
Tachyons explains
fucking
everything.
yeah, and then that conflicts with earlier stuff, and you're just like, fucking why? Why? Like why? It's just a fucking magic box that makes the ship go fast.
According to Bulbapedia,
Oh, shut
when a
up.
Pokeball hits the Pokemon, as long as it's not deflected, the Pokeball will open, convert the Pokemon to a form of energy, pull it into its center, and close. The Pokemon in that state is given a chance to struggle to attempt to break free from the ball and escape, being instantly reconverted from energy into matter. Should a Pokemon escape a Pokeball, the device will be destroyed or will return to the trainer, if it's the anime.
The phrasing on that is so bizarre.
It's given a chance to struggle.
Yeah, the ball will give the Pokemon a chance to struggle.
It is ethical to allow the Pokemon to escape if it wishes, providing that it struggles enough. This is...
See, okay, but that's fucked, because if that's true, then like everyone beating on wild Pokemon so they go in the ball is like an ethical loophole to the instructions that come with the Pokeball.
Well,
right?
yes,
The instructions with the Pokeball say, like, if the pocket monster struggles enough that it leaves, the Pokeball destroys, so don't catch that Pokemon. And everyone went, okay, well, what if we just went out and just beat the piss out of every Pokemon before we hit them with the ball? Then they wouldn't have the strength to escape.
Correct. They would be broken in like horses would, and they would submit. This is we've been doing this. We know this is the game.
Does that mean the Master Ball is like a fucking animal crime?
It gives no ethical chance for the escape.
There's no chance for escape.
Nope. But it can't be a crime if, like, the property which the crime is being inflicted upon is you know, it don't have their own rights. So all's fair. Seems legit.
It's one of those things that, like, every attempt to add a single detail about Pokemon to Pokemon makes Pokemon increasingly confusing and bizarre.
Weakened Pokemon instinctively curl up in an attempt to heal themselves, an action that the environment in the Pokeball encourages. Furthermore, while it is not known how caught Pokemon perceive time inside the ball, the device is said to replicate a Pokemon-friendly environment that is designed for comfort. This is what I remember now. Yes,
like
there is an enjoyable like world inside the Pokeball, so that it's comfortable while it's stuck inside.
Pal World seems like a legitimately more like cohesive universe than Pokemon.
Well, it's just upfront about the suffering which it's inflicting on the pals.
Oh, that reminds me. So a friend of the show, Get Gianni, was actually did a stream a few days ago that I caught most of the VOD for, of Crafttopia.
Meme voice actor extraordinaire.
And I took a look at that. And I don't know why he made, like, his character look like a nightmarish fucking Wii Fit trainer, like, gray person. Like, you know, that kind of freak. But he really, really enjoyed his time with Crafttopia. And, like, I looked at it, and, like, it's very jank, but it's also really impressive. And it's also, like, a astonishing ripoff of Breath of the Wild. Like there's like the Sheikah temples, like the design's the same, it's just red. And like that's all fine and good for Crafttopia, but that made me think like, oh wait, will Pal World actually be like good? Like it'll be jank.
So like,
right? It'll be jank as shit, but like, could it be good?
Was the goal for it to be a someone wanted to make their own Breath of the Wild first, and then secondary came the taking the piss out of the concept? And
no, you know, what it appears to be for Crafttopia is that they wanted to make like every game that was popular simultaneously.
Okay.
Like Breath of the Wild looked cool, so they took like its entire interface and a lot of its look, and they wanted to be like a crafting survival game also, and an automation game, and an adventure game. And like it feels like one of those games that as it's being made, they're like, just throw that in there. Just throw it in there. But I'm very confused to see like people really liking it and it having like very positive reviews. Though I did look back and saw that it's one of those games that has like very positive reviews and then like extremely negative reviews and then very positive reviews again. So it appears that it's one of those things where like certain builds or patches just
Wreck the
fall
game
apart.
and then and then bring it back later.
Yeah.
Now, we only scratched the surface on the descriptor of how Pokeballs work and how conflicting information over the years through different episodes and manga pages have contradicted and challenged each other with what exactly the Pokemon can perceive while inside the Pokeball. We don't need to detour completely over into this direction, but rest assured, there is a Dragonite sitting inside of a Pokeball in the anime looking kind of sad. With nothing around it.
I have a hypothetical question. Let's say I'm I'm a Pokemon trainer, right? And I got my Bulbasaur, and it's in my Pokeball, right? He's not hanging out; he's in the ball on my hip, right? And let's say I'm going to the Zubat cave, and I twist my ankle a little bit. You step on a rock weird, and I fall off the path and fall into a ditch and die in a ditch. And then there's heavy snowfall, and then my body gets covered in the ditch, right? And then what's that experience like for the Bulbasaur over the years in which it is not found?
Well, Pokemon appear to be conscious while inside their Pokeballs.
That's what I wanted to know.
Sometimes there have been depictions of the Pokeball jumping and rolling around at high speeds with a Pokemon inside of it, communicating with the Pokedex as well. So that is possible. However, there have been depictions where several Pokemon have shown the ability to leave the Pokeball at will. Jesse's Wobbuffet, Misty Psyduck, and various others.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Have tended to jump out of the Pokemon, out of their Pokeballs, without the trainer instructions.
Thank you, darling. Appreciate it. That reminds me of, I forget. I think me and Paige read it in the same place, where it's listed that like fucking Meowth is the only canonically evil Pokemon.
Because he's the only one that's acquired language.
It's because he's the only one that understands and can commit crimes with the understanding that they're crimes.
Okay, yeah.
It's like the Catholic age of reason. Like you understand
you are
good and evil, and you've decided to do evil.
Yes, the moment you are aware, you are now sinful. Meowth flew too close to the sun. Absolutely. Okay.
And Pokemon's so stupid.
Pal World is at the very least more straightforward about it. I appreciate that honesty.